So like a week later, I go back over because I got to get it ready for showings and stuff like that. And
So scared.
I open the front door and there's Rose.
It's like a ghost.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, Rose, what are you doing? You're going to get arrested.
Oh my
You're going to end up in jail.
You're
Do you
like
understand?
70. Oh.
I'm like, how in the hell did you get in here? She goes, oh, through the cat door.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm Stephanie Solowski here with
Cameron Barbier.
If you guys can see, we have a special guest host. Gwen, can you say hi to everybody?
Hello.
Say hi to the people. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, you can hear his lovely radio laugh.
Yes, already.
His radio voice. Today, we have Brian Lewis with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for
Thanks
being
for
here.
coming.
Yep.
I know. So Brian is with our very own brokerage Compass. He's been in the business 20 years, even though you look like you're 20 years old.
Oh boy.
I'm here to butter
Thank
you
you.
up. You're welcome. And we often see, Gwen and I see you all the time. Well, mostly in the summer when we're walking through the neighborhood and you are
Yep.
just swimming in the ocean
Swimming with
with
the
the
tri-club.
sharks
Yep.
like a crazy person.
Yeah. I think I've seen you scuba diving out here too. I
Never.
do that a lot.
I've never scuba dived.
Well, I see you walking.
Oh, yeah. When you are, yes. Yes, because
And
you're
I'm
walking
all-
up with your like
I'm
full
all
gear
geared up.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like, he's like, 7A. And I'm like, I can't see because, he's got everything on. Yeah, anyway. I've been told by you and a few guests that you could write a book.
I could write a book.
So welcome to Behind the Lockbox because
Yep.
What does that mean?
the stories he has,
Oh,
apparently.
I see.
So
a few
many
people at
stories.
Reba were like, have you got Brian on yet? And I was like, no, he's on the list. So thank you for coming because I kind of texted
Thank you for
last
having
minute.
me.
So
I think it's a wonderful platform. Great
Thank
idea. And
you.
funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We try.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
We do. Anyway. All right. Well, where do you want to start? Because you came in and you gave me 3 stories. So you start with whatever one you
Yeah,
want.
it's interesting. I talked to my transaction coordinator. I had the same transaction coordinator for my entire career.
I love that for you because
So
That's a good
she was
idea,
my
though.
assistant,
Yeah.
and then I helped her become start her own company as a TC, and we've
cool.
kept track of all the crazies and all the crazy stuff. And,
that's amazing.
yeah. So,
Oh my God.
like I said earlier, a lot of it is agent based, but we don't like to talk about other agents and
Right.
disparage people. So I'm going to
No,
tell
of
you
course not.
my favorite funny story.
Okay.
And then they're all funny stories. Yeah.
He brought notes, by the way.
I just saw it. Yeah.
You love notes.
I love
Yeah.
this.
She loves a notepad. So
Yeah.
this is right up
Yeah.
her alley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So jump right in?
Go
Yeah.
for it.
Okay, jump
Tell
right in.
us.
So I was pretty new to the industry. And, being new, I was going through database and pulling clients from people that I had worked with in the electronics industry before I got into real estate.
Oh, cool. Smart.
And so one of them was a really, really good friend. He was my field application engineer, which is he's the person as a salesperson you take out when you call on places like Qualcomm. You bring an engineer to help figure out what they want designed into the
Okay.
board. So we we spent a lot of time together, knew each other really well. And he had 2 young boys and his wife, and they were living in a condo on Riviera
Okay.
on Bayside.
Yeah.
Great condo.
Yeah, great
But these
location.
boys were approaching 10 and 12 years old in this tiny, long, narrow 2-bedroom condo.
Yeah.
They were literally playing basketball off the ceiling. They were using the ceiling as part of the hoop.
I'm sure the neighbors love that
The
one.
yeah, and I was like, Bill, you got to sell
gotta
this
move.
thing.
Yep.
We got to find you a house, and we
Yep.
got to get you out of here.
And yard.
So we started looking for the house, and we identified the house, and so we put the condo on the market, got it prepped up and all that stuff, got it ready for market, and proceeded to do showings. And so good friends with his wife as well. And so had a few showings on the property, and one day I had a couple of clients that wanted to go see the property, and so I like to text people. I don't know about you guys, but my favorite way to let people know, hey, we have a showing, is to text.
Yeah.
So, hey, we have a showing on Friday at noon.
Sure.
Is it okay? Everybody says, yeah, it's okay. So I forget about it. This is like on a Wednesday or something. So
Like, great. I'll be there.
Oh, yeah, no problem. So I show up. We're walking down. I'm showing them the condo. You're showing them the building and the beach and the access and the
Yeah.
pool. And walking down to get to the unit, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna knock, and I do this no matter what. I'll knock and I'll ring the doorbell, and as I open the door, I'll announce myself.
Sure.
So I'm knocking and I'm ringing and there's nobody there. And the clients are right behind me. And so I open the door, I unlock the door, and I open the door and I'm all, Brian! And up jumps up my buddy's wife, and she's completely naked.
No! In the living room? Like, because you obviously came through the front door, you didn't walk into the bedroom.
It's like one of those long, narrow condos, so you see right all the way through it to the beach and the living room and the couch.
Did someone else jump up?
Clients are right behind. No, clients are right behind me. We all had our jaw. It's like everybody had their jaw on the ground. I'm like,
you're like,
sorry.
Closing the door.
Close the door.
No.
Unbeknownst to me, my client's wife liked to go home for lunch and lay naked on the couch.
Is that...
No. Why are you looking at me if that's normal?
I don't know. Like, what do you just are like, you know what? It's been a rough morning. I'm just going to strip down, eat my Hot Pocket on this couch here, naked.
Also, you rang the doorbell and you knocked. Did she
Either
not?
she was out like napping or I don't know what, but yeah, she did not hear me because
she's probably used to her two boys.
Just sleeps through anything.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, they're gone. They're at school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So super long. So she's all the way in the front by the, with the doors open on the couch. Breeze is blowing through. So she probably
airing it all out, apparently.
She's breezing out on the couch.
Breezing out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
then what? What did you do? Oh my God. I would have been like, can I even face this woman again? Like,
so
I don't know.
It was really weird. So we're all like just standing there looking at each other. Me and the clients are like, I'm like, I am so sorry. They knew I was coming. They knew we were coming. I don't know what just happened. Let's go look at the other condos. We're going to go look back and maybe we'll come back to this one.
Oh my God.
And I don't really remember if we went back later that day, but I did, I called my buddy and I was like bro, what's going on with your wife?
Why is she laying naked during the day? Is she having that rough of a morning at work? Like, what's going on?
And apparently was her thing. She liked doing that, going home at lunch, and she spaced on the showing.
You know what's funny that on the radio, I heard that this is like a thing. That
what?
Yeah, when they call in, they're like, "My boyfriend does this." Or
yeah.
Like, is this normal? One of them was like about being naked on the couch.
It's a Benjamin Franklin thing. I don't know if you know your history. He liked to sit in front of open windows naked.
Oh my God, I did not know that.
Google
it. I don't think I needed to know that.
I'm having a mental image now. That's lovely.
Wasn't. Yeah, not pretty.
No, he was a big guy. Interesting.
So yeah, I think it's a thing.
Yeah.
I think people they feel, I don't know, relieved. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird.
And it was so astonishing. I don't even remember if these clients bought the property. We sold the property really fast, but I don't remember if it was them, but we still
Do you remember what your buddy
We
said?
still laugh about it. And when I call,
you still see them and talk to them today?
Oh, I see them all the time. Yeah, I've
God,
sold
that's
multiple properties,
hysterical.
sold them a house to live in.
So now when you sell one of their properties, you're like, okay, Linda, you can't be sitting on the couch with a megaphone. Here we go. On. Put your clothes on. Like
totally naked.
And it jumped up. Oh God, which is even worse. Like,
I think because I
know it'd have been like, don't come in. Like
no robe, no blanket.
She was just enjoying that coastal
Shazam.
breeze.
Wow.
Enjoying the coastal breeze.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. That's hysterical.
Yeah. So when I called I texted my TCA, I'm doing this blog for a friend.
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, naked lady."
She knew right away.
She was 100% naked lady.
This is the first one you share. Here's your second one. Oh my God.
Good.
That's really good. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your next one?
Next one.
I'm like dying to hear all of these because you gave me like he gave us like
teasers.
Bullet points. Yeah, teasers. And he's like, I'm not telling you anything else. I'm like, don't. Okay. Hit us with it.
Scary one or, well, I thought it was scary.
Yeah, let's do the scary one.
Okay, scary. So, brand new in the business.
Also sounded kind of creepy maybe from the sounds of it, but
a little creepy.
Okay.
Yeah. Brand new in the business. And so,
was this pre or post naked lady?
This is way before naked lady. This is like my maybe my first month in the business.
Oh God.
Okay.
Oh God.
Maybe.
And to have something scary and creepy happen.
First 6 months. It was traumatizing. First 6 months in the business, I think maybe.
Oh man.
wow.
Something like that. So anyway, so I was partners. I don't know if you remember Rob Linton, beach builder. He's moved to North Carolina, but he got me into the business, got me out of electronics. And long story short, I came from an industry where we did prospecting, right?
Yes.
So my way to find clients was prospecting. And so I would get the lists from our title rep and it would have names and phone numbers and we'd just do call arounds, right?
Sure.
Which is pretty typical.
Sure.
So and this is dating myself again, a lot of times those phone numbers would be fax machines.
Oh yeah, fair.
And so I thought I'd be innovative and fax flyers to the fax machine. Hey, you're going to make me listen to that beep, you know.
I had a beeper in junior high and high school.
See,
so like,
okay, so
I'm
you
with
know.
you. I look younger than I am. Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll get you. I'm going to fax
That's
you a flyer and
smart.
say, hey, we have this
really
property
smart.
or hey, yeah. Well, I thought it was smart.
Yes.
So anyway, you got a call on one of them.
I wish
Fax
I could still
machine.
do that.
Well, nobody has fax machines
I know,
anymore.
it's sad.
I know.
Yeah. So I get a call back on one of them, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. This guy wants to meet me. And it was up on Foothill in Pacific Beach.
Okay.
So kind of a nicer neighborhood.
Yeah, great location.
And Rob was like helping, guiding me through what to do. And, how did you get this? How did you get this appointment? I said, I faxed them.
I faxed him.
I didn't know any better. I'm faxing people that have fax machines.
good old days,
Is there a
That's
law?
so
Is there a
good.
law against that?
When we were a proper
Now there
country.
is.
This is before do not call and
Yep.
before any of that stuff.
Yep.
So anyway, so I get this appointment, and at the time I was living in Rancho Penasquitos, and the office was in PB, so it was quite a commute for me to get to this appointment. And it was at night. He said, "Yeah, come over at night." And yeah, we're thinking about selling.
Oh God.
Older guy. Great. I pre-qualified him on the phone. Sure. Asked him all these questions. Sure. And so I show up and I've got my my four-door Subaru with my magnetic real estate signs on the side of it.
Adorable.
Brian Lewis.
You were just
and the company.
ready to go.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Knock on the door. He answers the door. I'm like, oh, God, nice to meet you. Thanks for having me in. I'm really excited about taking a look at the property and helping you get it sold, right?
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to me, he's behind me locking all the doors, latching them. And I'm not really even paying attention. I'm like, do you mind if I take a walk and look at the property? And there's nobody else. I don't see anybody else in the house.
Oh, like, wait, sorry. He let you in? And
he
then
let me in, and I
locked
started
the doors.
walking around, and he locked all the doors behind me.
Also, I'm picturing that he has like six locks going down his
Pretty much.
front door. Oh. No.
So anyway, I look around. And
what time of night do you think this was?
It was dark.
So it was like after dinner.
And it was winter time, and so it was probably like 7, something like that, 8 o'clock at night.
Which is a little late for an appointment. But look, when people work, we've gone to listing appointments at 6:37. They're like, come over after dinner, let us get the kids fed, and then come over. Yep, of course. Right. So not totally weird.
So we sit down at the table, the kitchen table. Let's sit down at the kitchen table, and I, put everything out, the listing presentation, all that stuff, comps and all,
Yeah.
And I go through my whole presentation, and he's just sitting there going, In the meantime, I'm like feeling movement behind me. So I'm looking around, and all of a sudden I see a woman, and I'm assuming it's his wife, and she's like puttering around the edge of me and doing weird stuff. And then I see a son. I'm assuming he was the son, and he's on the... It had this weird living room that had like a balcony that wrapped around it to the upstairs bedrooms, and he was up there like doing stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of odd. Should I be meeting these people?
Yeah.
Are they part of the? Are they decision makers? But it started to get really weird. Like the vibe started to get really weird.
And you can always feel it.
Totally, whole demeanor, his whole demeanor changed, and it turned into I was trying to go for the close.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are you ready to sign? Are you ready to list? He goes, no. He goes, I'm not going to sell my property. He goes, I just like to with realtors. Can I say that? I said it.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. He goes, I just had you over here to mess with you.
Oh, I literally... I feel a little sick right now. Like,
yes.
Dude, I'm feeling the way I felt that night. I was like, okay,
holy shit.
I'm out of here. So I'm like, first of all, I went off on the guy. I don't know why, but I was not...
Yes.
I'm like, are you kidding me? I go, I left my wife and my 3 kids to come over here for an interview, and you just had me over here to mess with me? He goes, yeah, what are you doing, faxing people? And, you realtors and you realtors. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go. So I go to leave and I can't get out the door. He locked me in. And so I turned around so quick that I slipped on the floor and I almost went down, but I grabbed myself and I got back up and then I really
because then you're in flight or fight mode.
Then I really laid into him. I have no idea what these people were behind me. I don't know if they have guns.
Like,
I don't know what the deal is.
Get the hell out of here.
I was like, I'm like, you mother,
open this door now.
I can't, I can't believe you did this. This is illegal. You're threatening you're threatening my life. I go, this is my livelihood. This isn't funny for me.
And also it's just like, and when he said that, when he was like, I just like to, with realtors, right. Did it turn to where he it was almost nasty? Like where
it was extremely
like aggressive.
Yeah. He thought it was funny, but it was aggressive at the same time. In my mind, it was like, what the hell?
All that matters. I mean, yeah.
But you have a kid and a wife. Like, why are you doing that in your past time? Like,
right. When your whole family's in on it.
Yes.
Whoever these people
they're like, oh, there's another realtor down there.
And I'm like,
are they all being held hostage? I don't know.
They're like, welcome.
That's where my mind goes.
I managed to get the doors unlocked and I'm like, you're not, I'm reporting you to the police. I go out the front and I go to my car and my signs are gone. I
actually
they were in on it. The other people.
Thank God
I actually thought you were going to say like your tires were slashed or something. Like that's where I really was.
No, I think it all happened so fast that I don't know. It's all conjecture. But anyway,
you just totally got out of there.
Yeah, and luckily I had told Rob, my partner, where I was. So I'm like, so he knew where I was. So I felt good about that. But I got in the car and I was shaking like a leaf.
Oh, I would be too.
I got around the corner. I'm like, you are not going to believe what just happened to me. I called him. I'm like, he's like,
that's a first.
Dude.
I've never heard anything like that.
Locked me in just to mess with me.
And
this is like, I'm brand new to the business. I'm
right.
I'm like, Rob, is this what this business is?
Do I need to second guess like my life choices?
Do I need to bring a bodyguard with me? Should we go in pairs? What's the deal?
We've talked about this so many times on this podcast that like, again, the dangers that can happen to men and to women. Anybody. Because we're dealing with the public and you're meeting people that you've never met. And like, listen, 98% of the time, even 99% really, like we're good. Everything is fine. But we do have to listen to our intuition and be careful. But I would have, when I was new, nothing would have been different for me. You know what I mean? Like even now, like when you're going to meet someone for the first time or what have you. I mean, typically I am on a team. So it's, you're just you, correct?
Just me. I've had a team, but I don't have a team anymore.
So it's harder when it's a solo agent because you don't have anyone necessarily, unless you're going to co-list it with somebody or whatever, but you don't really have anyone to go with you, right? But we've talked about like even, when I do buyer showings, like I won't go in the house. If the seller had just left in the agent's meeting, it's like fine. But if it's vacant and staged, I have walked in on squatters. I have been creeped out. Yeah. I mean, it's like, well, let's just all go in together. Like there's no point, So we do have to be careful, but that is
big time.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Damn it. I thought especially your faxing women, was a cool idea.
I know.
It was a cool idea. And I did. And you know what it did?
Did you do it again?
Absolutely. You know what it did to me? I was like, I am not going to let this one knucklehead destroy a good thing.
Good.
You should have like sent flyers every week to him or something.
I know.
Yeah.
Just start harassing his fax machine.
Interestingly enough, I did follow his activity for a while.
Yeah.
I would have too.
Yeah.
What happened or anything?
Did you call the cops?
I didn't.
I mean, I guess what are they going to say? What do you, it's like, I'm out of there. I'm safe. He didn't touch me. Like,
I'm like, it's a magnetic sign. You know what? It's $50. It's whatever. I'm just going to.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I wonder if it took that, like the son.
I think it was the kid. I think it was the kid went out and took,
No, they were for sure.
Was going to mess with the car and he took those instead.
Is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Could you imagine your dad being like, okay, we've got another realtor coming over? Like, oh my God.
Clearly,
Dad.
that's like.
Yeah. And I don't know if I've even ever told my wife that story because I was like, I can't tell her. Yeah.
Yeah, she'd probably be like, get out of that business.
She would have been like, no, you're not.
It's for me with her, it's like I get home and I go, you're not going to believe how crazy today was. And then that's it. I don't even, it's like, I don't even want to.
Yeah.
So much craziness.
No, it's true. And some, especially when we're going through hard times and it's just like every day, it's just something, the market, we're getting into a better market now, but there were many weeks and months where I'd call my parents like, I'm like, was another day, you know.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother side of the business, right? It's not, just dealing with people
is one.
A lot of times
alone.
you're a psychiatrist, you're a therapist, you're
all of
so many
it,
things.
all of it. That is creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a girl in there?
No.
I mean, no, that was scary.
I wonder if he did that to any female realtors.
I don't. Hopefully, there weren't female realtors fax. I think I was the only person in the office faxing.
I know, but that's awesome. I'm so impressed by this. Like, so brilliant. I wish fax machines were still a thing. But anyway.
Yeah.
I digress.
Now we text.
Yeah.
True.
But the cool thing too now is 20 years later, the ability to check out who people are has completely advanced to the point where nobody can hide from you. You get a phone number, you can figure out who they are in 10 minutes.
Because you technically started before the internet, right at the cusp, right?
Kind of right. Internet was around, but kind of like cell phones weren't like the predominant thing. Everybody still had home phones.
Yep.
Everybody still had landlines and fax machines.
Yep.
And most of the older people would have that landline be the fax machine as well as their phone.
Yes.
So,
and they would just turn it on or off. Yeah.
My daughter just asked me what a home phone was, and I explained it to her, and she's like, "Can I have one for Christmas?"
With the giant cord.
Oh my God. We actually have talked about, we're like, we want a home phone. Like, I want a landline again. Phone. Like, I miss it.
Yeah. I don't know anybody that has
have all the phone numbers memorized. And
right.
I saw a meme once that it was like the way that I was able to memorize every friend's phone number when I was younger, and yet I can't remember what I ate for breakfast today.
Addresses
It's like a
and
little
phone numbers,
totally. Yeah. Like, it's wild. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh. Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists, and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PROPERTYSHOWCASEGROUP.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com. Okay, do you have one more?
I can tell you one more. It's not like a warm fuzzy, but it's I do a lot of probate and trust.
Oh, interesting.
And so I see a lot of crazy stuff.
Yes.
Crazy people, crazy relationships.
How did you start doing that? I'm curious. Like, because it happens to us. Like, we'll get a trust sale or whatever, like, from time to time.
Trust sales are pretty easy peasy usually. But probate is its own. But probate is a whole nother animal. And so when the financial market crashed in 2007, 8, we were all kind of forced to reinvent ourselves. And so I did predominantly bank-owned business. I worked for Countrywide back then. So Countrywide was one of my clients, and B of A, and then B of A, This is a probate transaction. Okay. And it involved, I want to say there were 6 siblings.
Oh gosh.
And most of them lived up in like Hemet and Alpine. Okay. And they were all in agreement to sell the family properties except for one gal. And they're all in their 70s. Their mom died when she was like in her 90s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so they were all in agreement to sell except for one sister. And one sister was living in the family house.
Oh, always the one sibling that's living there for free.
And so we spent probably the better part of a year and a half going in and out of court. I got subpoenaed to go be witness a couple of times, which is very rare. I don't sign up to do that. No. It's not really my job, my job to be doing that. No. But anyway, so I had met this gal.
The one living in the home.
I think I can say her name. Well, I'm going to make up a name. Her name was Rose.
Okay.
And I had met her during that year-long process. I went and introduced myself and said, "Hey, I'm the agent that's going to be helping the family." And she was sweet as pie.
Which was good for you because you're like, look, I'm not here to I'm just the hired help. And trying to befriend her was probably maybe a good move.
Sweet as pie. And she drove this big old giant ancient Cadillac that had expired tags on it. You could barely see her. Rose. You could barely see her head over the steering wheel.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she projected herself as a very sweet,
Yes, exactly. I knew you were looking at me. And you're like, she
wonderful
was
woman,
sweet as
like
pie.
your grandmother will make you cookies. Oh, thank you. Anyway, so
Until
the second time I went over, I was like, okay, I'm going to see if I can get in the house, and she wouldn't let me in the house, but I was able to get like almost in the living room.
You're like looking around.
And I look in the living room.
2-bedroom or 2-bath, or what do we got back here? Yeah.
And the house was in a lot of disrepair. It was falling down pretty much, and barely habitable. And
Where was it located?
Ocean Beach.
Oh, okay.
Prime location on Narragansett.
Oh, wow.
I want to say up on the hill. Turn around in the backyard. Big giant yard. Developable property.
Yeah.
Views forever.
Great spot.
Of course, she didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
So
No, who would?
So second time I go over, I can look over her shoulder, and I look in the living room, and there's no furniture. But there's like a war room. Like she has legal books stacked up in piles and paperwork on tables and all this stuff going on. And so it kind of explained she was going into court and trying to thwart the probate process and thwart the sale.
Was Rose representing herself?
Rose was representing herself.
All those legal books out. She's like, I can do this.
Right. Well, so Rose wrote herself a life estate.
Oh, did she?
In her own chicken scratch. And chicken scratched her mom's signature. And she wrote her mom's will in her own chicken scratch.
All right.
And chicken scratched her
Mom's signature.
her mom's signature.
We're getting creative here.
And so push came to shove. It was like, like a year and a half later, the judge finally said, stop coming into my court, Rose. I'm going to hold you in contempt and put you in jail.
Oh, no.
The property needs to be sold and you need to move out.
And again, I'm assuming for anyone who doesn't know, when you have that many kids and if it's typically things go into probate when there's not a trust in place, correct?
No will and no trust.
No trust.
Well,
and so had there been a trust,
can be a will or not be a will,
right,
intestator.
but the trust is really the one that's
trust
like,
keeps you out of probate.
Correct.
So,
and so
everybody
there
you
obviously
see,
was no trust.
Get a trust.
Yes.
If you buy a property, get a trust.
So sorry, total sidebar.
Go
really
ahead.
quickly, I throw events.
It's the moral of the story.
It is.
Go ahead.
Well, we had a probate attorney come and a trust attorney come at speak because I do events for women who want to invest in real estate.
Yeah.
And I learned more. She was like, you need a trust.
Everybody should have a trust.
Because if something were to happen to you, legally, who gets your dog? And I was like, well, my parents. She's like, no. And like wills don't. Don't.
Where does the money go?
Exactly.
And where does your car go?
And like your parents would have no control over. What if you were in the hospital? Like I don't even have anything because I'm not married, so I don't have anything set up for any of that. And I was like, oh shit, I learned a lot. And so for anyone out there,
I had a meeting with her. Or
you did,
Yeah.
yeah. For anyone who and you own property, you guys own multiple properties. For anyone who does not have a trust in place, even as a single person, you need a trust, and this is why.
Yeah.
So
it keeps your family, if you have family, out of probate, so they don't have to spend that money.
Because a will's not going to do it. And people can fight over a will and it can get messy. It's the trust that is the ironclad.
Right.
So when he was telling her, like, I'm going to hold you in contempt to like get out, basically, was she just like arguing with him, or was she just like.
Right. She would keep coming in with new paperwork and documents that she had fabricated. And, right.
She was creative.
And she found some attorney that was taking her money.
Taking her on. Oh, yeah. God.
And
anyway.
so it was that's why I got called into court, was to testify about him and what was happening. But anyway, so
ultimately you were able then to.
So we finally got, an order from the judge that the properties has to be sold. No more. You can't come in here anymore.
Right.
And so then it was up to me, and the family was very excited at this point. We finally get to sell this thing.
Yeah.
Because there's not only the sisters and the brothers didn't really care. A couple of them were in medical need.
Okay.
But there's kids and grandkids and great grandkids waiting for money to go to school, the college money and stuff like that.
How long had they owned this property?
It was in the family since the 20s.
So they stood to make.
Yeah, the dad was a pretty prolific inventor for stuff that the naval folks used. Yeah.
Okay, so they
and some of it was in the yard. We had to crane it out. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Big stuff, crazy.
That's actually pretty cool, but also a pain in the butt to get rid of. But so they were really waiting for. I mean, they had money wrapped up.
They were
in this
waiting.
Place.
Yeah, they were waiting for that. The whole family was kind of, and she had ostracized all of them, so no, they weren't. I'm like, so anyway, so now it's up to me to get her out, which meant eviction. So I tried to talk her sweetly out of moving out.
Did you bring her cookies?
That's when the real Rose.
Oh, the real Rose showed her face.
That's when the real Rose opened the front door.
Oh boy.
Yeah, like the Wicked Witch of the East came to the door.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, come on in, my little pretty.
Yeah, and she locks you in as well, and she's like,
nobody's gonna lock me in ever again.
Never again.
Never again.
My back is never to a door.
Foot goes in the jam every time.
I learned your lesson.
I got 2 exits. I can go out that window. I can go out that door. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back to the wall.
I mean, I got to tell you, thank you for telling that story though, sidebar, because it's a good reminder. Like I always try to not, even at open houses, if I am there alone, like
tell people where you are.
My exits. I mean,
yeah.
I get alerts.
Yeah.
Yep.
I accidentally, you know how the lockbox, like how we have like agent safety on like Sentry Lock. Have you seen that?
Do we?
Okay. So you maybe not.
Oh, it's like a 911.
To the people that you have it set up to.
Really?
So it'll alert my mom and Cam.
Me. Really?
I just sounded so Midwest right there. What happened? Anyway.
So wait, you program in phone numbers
Yes.
and at 911.
And I don't even know how I did it. I don't remember. It was years ago that I did it. It was like a new thing
Oh.
when Sentry Lock came out with this update like 4 or 5 years ago. And one day I didn't clear it. And so then it sends an alert, a text to
That's
her
not
and
good.
my mom.
Not good.
So then they both call me. My phone's in
Freaking
my
out.
pocket. I don't answer.
911.
They're calling each other, and then I must have had 20. I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong? What's wrong? And they're like, where are you? I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like I'm
just
at a showing.
Yeah, and they're like, we got the agent safety thing. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So like, we
I gotta
have
look
stuff
into
in
that.
place.
I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
heard of that before.
Yeah.
I wonder if they still have it.
They
must
do,
have.
because I opened a lockbox 2 days ago, and I was like, cancel, like making sure I
wow.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it now. It's been, anyway. So there's
So,
safety guards.
back
in
to
place.
Rose.
Oh my God, we're not done with Rose. I'm so sorry.
Rose
So
just keeps getting better.
She showed her thorns.
So
Yes.
Rose she's like, nope, I'm not going anywhere. And I said, so I'm like, well, okay, so you're going to be evicted.
Rose,
Do you
are
understand
going
what that
somewhere.
means? I have to do it. And it really, it brought me to tears because she's this sweet little old lady. She's ostracized all of her family. Where is she going to live? I can't just kick her out to
And
the
if the
street.
sheriff comes, she's going to be homeless.
Sheriff
like,
came.
Oh, I'm sure.
It ended up being the sheriff coming, and so I tried to get her set up. I figured out that she was a member of a church over in Ocean Beach, and
Okay.
I reached out to
smart.
them, and I said, you guys got to help me with this.
That
She
was
needs a
good of
place
you.
to land.
Yeah.
Well, I can't just push her out to the street because the family's not
And
having
she's
her.
older, correct? She's in her 70s.
She's in her 70s,
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
had like a giant pile of medication in the corner. So who knows?
Yeah.
But it was really kind of sad that she was trying to hang on to this place because it was just her bed and her medications and the war room.
Oh my God.
Pretty much.
Like really
Oh, wow.
nothing else
Holes
was in
in
there.
the ground that you could fall through and stuff.
man.
And
Dang, not even a
Yes.
safe place to be.
no, and
No.
the back door, the whole porch that led out to the back door was rotted away, and then there were stairs down into the yard, the big backyard, that were
gosh.
very, very unstable. Anyway, so long story short, sheriff met me at the property, and when you organize that kind of a move out, you have to bring a moving truck, and then
Who pays
it's
for that?
it's the family pays for it. It comes out of the proceeds,
Oh,
the
okay.
probate proceeds. So we had to, the law is that you have to, if you move somebody out like that, you have to store their property. And so we put everything into a moving van for her. It all happened within hours.
And store it where?
We have to rent a storage locker.
Okay.
A
And that
storage.
will still come out of the proceeds, but
Comes
basically,
out of the
like,
proceeds,
did they
yeah.
arrest her or
Or
they just had to forcibly make her leave?
They just had to walk her out of the house, and she got in her big old Cadillac and drove off. And we put everything into the van and put it into storage
Did she
for
take
her.
anything with her or no?
I don't remember her taking much with her.
Like there wasn't.
much there.
I wonder if that
Yeah.
annoyed the brothers and sisters even more to like have that.
Well, it was
coming out.
heartbreaking, but at that point, to me it was heartbreaking. But at that point, they were like done
I mean,
with her.
it's
They're
like-
like, you know what, you've made your own bed.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
good luck.
Storage and moving truck. I mean, that's
Yeah, that probably
Yeah.
ticked them off. Even
And
more.
I
They're
run
like,
into that all the time. I'm in a deal right now where the family's fighting with each other, and they're causing so much more expenses because of their fighting.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is
They're all
crazy.
lawyered up.
You're wasting
Yeah.
money
Right.
fighting. Yeah,
and
Right.
time, and it's
And
just-
time.
and it's like over.
And it's all you're doing is pushing out the inevitable every time.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I
Yeah.
mean,
gonna
it's-
happen.
It happened in my
The
family,
judge
so.
is always going to do what's best for everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good.
So anyway, so she leaves, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like on the front lawn crying. But like bank owned, you have to secure the property.
Correct.
So I went in and I screwed down all the windows, and I changed the locks, and secured the property and then proceeded to get it ready, take pictures and all that kind of stuff. And I left and didn't really, I thought, well, that's, I won't see Rose ever, I won't see Rose ever again.
So you thought.
So I thought.
Oh my gosh.
So like a week later, I go back over because we're getting, I got to get it ready for showings and stuff like that. And
so scared.
I open the front door and there's Rose.
It's like a ghost.
Oh my God. Wait, when you walked up, did you see any visible signs
see the Cadillac.
of that
she had parked the Cadillac.
She parked that shit down the street. Yeah.
She did.
She was like, no, I'm going to hide from him and I'm going to surprise him.
So
How many days had
Rose
been in this property?
Probably the whole week. I don't really know, but she was in there. And I'm like, Rose, what are you doing? You're going to get arrested. You're going to end up in jail. Do you understand?
70. Oh.
I'm like,
she's like, I don't care.
I'm like, how in the hell did you get in here? She goes, through the cat door.
Wait, how little was she?
Not the doggy door. She squeezed through the cat door.
How little was she?
The only thing I didn't barricade, she got through.
Because you thought human can fit through this.
How in the hell did you do that? She goes, with the neighbor boy's help.
She's like, push. And he's like pushing her feet through.
Like, like Winnie the Pooh?
Yes, literally. He's just kicking her all the way through with the neighbor boy's help.
Through the cat door. Yeah.
But aren't cat doors like
tiny?
How do you get your head or your shoulders
I don't know
through?
how she
or
did
maybe
it.
the boy went through and opened a door.
She was not eating.
Oh.
He may have.
I guarantee that's smart. That's probably exactly what happened.
She may have sent him through. Yeah.
Smart little Rose.
Give him?
So after I got her back off the
She's like, here's a piece of chocolate. Well, I'm picturing her looking like a little witch.
I know, me too.
Tiny,
just like shriveled over.
At this point, she's a
she's
total
like, do you want some chocolate?
This is like Snow White. That
go open that door. And he's like, but it's bolted down. She's like, pull hard. Like,
Miss Rose, I'm not going in.
Yeah. Yes, do it.
And
she's kicking him through the cat door.
This is in the back with the dilapidated stairs and the hole. I thought
you were going to say that they were just crawled up the hole through the foundation of the crawl space.
I guess she could have done that.
I thought if anybody get in, they got in through a, you can always break a window.
Of course.
But
I really thought she would applied one of the boards
open. She went through according to her, she went through the cat door.
What is this episode called? Through the Cat Door with Brian Lewis.
With Rose.
Cat door lady.
Oh my God, no way. Through the cat door.
Yeah. So
then
Rose had to be evicted again. And I had to go around to all the neighbors, and nobody fessed up. But I was like, "Listen, this is
which one of you have
a kid?
This is somebody's going to end up in jail.
Do not
assist.
Take her chocolate. Do not assist.
She is illegally retaining residents at that property.
Her evicted again.
Yeah.
Was she?
She had left. She was already good. She left by the time we went back.
Where was she sleeping? Like, was she? Did you
on the
see
floor?
any signs of
I
that?
don't know.
Maybe in her Cadillac. She had it now. Now the door was open.
I don't know what she was doing. Yeah. She didn't like bring any stuff. There was nothing.
By the way, the church called them back and was like, "Yeah, we're not taking her in."
Yeah.
She's crazy.
Yeah.
Brian, those are good stories.
That's going to be you.
Okay.
There was a big party at the end of that transaction.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, the family was like, "Oh my God, Brian."
I wonder if they ever had to deal with her anymore.
I don't know. You know.
You haven't seen Rose since.
I haven't seen Rose since,
You
and they were
evicted her a
all,
second time.
they're all out of area people.
Yeah,
so that happens a lot with probate.
For sure.
How long ago was this?
That was, I want to say it's like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So it would have been like right after.
I was really hoping it was last week that we could go find Rose.
No.
She's sitting outside of that house still today in her Cadillac.
Yeah. But back to probate. I mean, it's always amazing to me when I meet people and they're the smartest people. Yeah. The person who passed away can be.
Yep.
I just did a transaction in Hillcrest where he was a longtime real estate broker, and ran the HOA in the building, was responsible for getting them Mills Act and historic on the building, and didn't have a trust.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, people just like, even my parents, my mom's like, do you know what we're going to have to do to get ready to get that? I'm like, I know, Mom, but you got to do it.
It's not that big. It's really not.
Yeah.
And I have, if you need them, I have great references
stock, right, of everything. It's more of that.
Well, it's a good exercise.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And to make sure that people have your passcodes
For sure.
and your,
Oh God, I didn't even think about.
Yeah. I mean,
mine are all the same. You know what my fun is to unlock my phone. My brother gets so pissed at me.
Yeah, you got to change that
because and it's like
it's probably your birthday or something.
Oh, it's worse than that.
Oh, mine is
but
too.
you would never suspect.
Yeah.
Well, now everybody does.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna tell you what number it is. You can't break into my phone. Anyway, is it 1111? Maybe.
But it's just about leaving instructions for everybody.
Yes.
Especially family, because it's everybody. They think they're getting along with their family until there's big money involved, and then
of course,
it
suddenly
can get
the
ugly.
tides change. Oh, it gets ugly real quick. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wait, where do they suggest putting these passwords to keep them
in the book? In the trust book, they give you a binder.
Okay.
Yeah, but or just making and remember, people aware your better half,
like doing like a meeting with her every couple of years to update that binder. Just in case anything changes. So
my passwords
we've got my mother-in-law doing it, and it's a debacle. It's taking some time, but
you got to get it done. Yeah. You gotta get it done.
And then where everything is, and what that person wanted you to do with those things.
Get that trust in place.
Yeah. Anyway. Stay out of probate.
Yeah.
I love my probate attorneys, but
yes, but it's not great for anyone. You know, it's good business. But
they preach it too. They're like, stay out of probate.
Of course, right. Nobody ever will. They'll always have the business, but it's rough. So
yeah.
Do you want to play a game?
Let's play the game.
Okay, so we're gonna ask you 3 questions. Just to get to know you a little bit better. This might incite some other stories, but anyway. All right, go ahead, Kim.
Okay, what's the craziest or pettiest thing that's ever killed or almost killed one of your deals?
Other than Rose.
Oh, you should have given me these questions
to begin
24 hours ago.
No, we can't. It's like rapid fire.
The pettiest thing. Yeah. I don't let deals die.
That's good.
I don't.
We try not to. We'll buy the deal if we have to.
Right. Yeah. It has to be a burning hole in the ground.
Yeah. Agreed.
For it to implode on me.
Agreed.
And
someone once said like a refrigerator seal, like things where like it almost killed the deal, where they were like in your case, like I will buy you a new fridge, or
I'll buy it.
Yeah, same.
I know.
Same.
Stuff
We've
like
talked
that.
about this so many times on our team. We call it buying the deal, and actually our partners just had to do it the other day for a huge request for repair, and it's like it is what it is. You got to figure it out. So because otherwise you could lose the whole deal, and then nobody gets a commission, then the house doesn't sell, no one is happy. We're all working towards the same goal. So
I think it's where you have to become the negotiator. And that's why I can't really think of anything, because I never let deals. I break it down to the ridiculous. I'm like, really? Are you going to let a refrigerator seal keep you from getting $500,000?
And sometimes they're like standing up. That's the hill they're going to die on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here's the money. Yeah, exactly.
Break it down to the ridiculous, and don't give them that option.
I'm curious to see what your answer is on this next one.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve
in life, in real estate, anything. Gwen wants to know too. She sat up for that one. She was like, tell me, Brian.
Gwen, what's my biggest pet peeve?
What's his biggest pet peeve? Gwen, oh, she's going to sit with Max.
She's like,
she's had enough of us. Yeah.
I know. I need to think of mine too. I'm always like, I cannot believe this. And then I'm like, oh, what was that I'm always
I've got a lot.
frustrated about?
I can only think of one from today.
Ooh.
There's probably a lot of pet peeves.
Right.
I have a lot. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. So I have my own office. I share it with some other, another realtor.
Okay.
And then we have, we're not specific to our brokerage. We have other people, different kinds of work backgrounds and doing different stuff.
Okay.
Renting space from us.
Okay.
And they're predominantly dudes, and they always leave the toilet seat all the way up.
I mean, listen, this just came up a couple weeks ago.
And I'm trying to figure out how to talk to the new kid who's doing it. I'm like,
not only is
they're going, oh, God, doesn't he know we have people that come in here? We have clients coming in here, and there could be women.
Needs to be closed. It's not even just.
You're going to open it, but close it when you're done. Come on, dude.
And close it and then flush, please.
I can hear my mom going, what are you, in a barn?
Yes. No, I'm such a
Is that
toilet
weird?
seat closer. No. We talked about this literally a couple weeks ago. I am a toilet seat closer because my house, I have a small bathroom.
Yeah.
And I will close the seat before I flush it because like particles fly. It's just like, and other people have like water closets where the toilet's open, right? And so it's like, if you flush it, it's in its own room. Okay, fine, whatever. But like, not only is it just like put it down for women, but put the lid down too, please. Thanks. Yeah. I like that one. It's a good one. Okay.
Okay. Can I tell you my second best?
Oh yeah.
People that take up 2 parking spots. When
don't even get me started with drivers. Don't even get me started with drivers.
I also get really annoyed, and I didn't used to, but my husband pointed this out. Someone parking in front of your house. That's not going into your house.
My kid. Yeah,
that would annoy me.
Yeah, that's a La Jolla thing. It's a Bird Rock thing. Big
you saw
time.
my driveway out
my
here.
husband grew up in Bird Rock.
I live here in.
It up because I spent 15 minutes trying to find a spot, and there's all these people that are taking up 2 spots.
Yes, and had my neighbor not been here today, I would have had you park in my driveway. But do you know how often I come home and someone's just chilling in my driveway, and I'm like, they're like, I'll leave in a minute. I'm like,
I'm just going to get a burger.
Activated. I'm
just going to get a Jeff's Boyga.
No, 100%. They're like, I'm just going to the bodega. I'm like, get the out of my driveway. Do you not see? I will tow your ass. Like, it happens. Oh my God. It's in the summer. You can imagine how bad it is.
On my block in my neighborhood, there's a guy that lives across. Oh, he's probably going to see this.
Woody?
Anyway,
we're not that far. We're not that famous
There's a guy
yet.
on the block. He's single. And he lives in a house, and he has 5 vehicles on the street.
Oh.
Is he good looking? Is he tall?
I'm not going to say anything else about him.
Should I?
I'm just going to say he has
go talk to him?
5 vehicles on the street, so it causes everybody else to have.
Are they nice vehicles?
No, it causes everybody else to play.
Brian doesn't need you to jump up on him.
Oh my goodness!
All right, what's the next one? What's the last one?
If you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be and why?
I knew that was coming.
You've listened to the podcast. That's why you.
Yeah, I always wanted to be the Indian when I was a kid, but now I've changed.
You wanted to play Cowboys and Indians when you were little.
Yeah. I didn't want to be Daniel Boone. I wanted to be the Indian.
You know what?
Yeah. I still want to be the Indian.
You aged yourself a little bit there, but that's okay. I love it. I enjoy it.
Yeah. So I'd have to go backwards in time to make it happen, but Stephanie knows I love swimming and I love scuba diving. Mm-hmm. And scuba diving is about as close as you can get to being an astronaut.
Oh, yes.
I actually never thought about that. You're right.
I would really, I think it would be incredibly cool to be an astronaut.
That would be really cool.
It would be really cool.
I mean,
incredibly cool.
So
I'd be too scared, but yeah.
So I guess I'd have to be a pilot.
Is that how they start?
You kind of got to be a pilot to be an astronaut.
Yeah, you got to know how to fly. Yeah. All astronauts, I think, are pilots. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Either play Cowboys and Indians, or an astronaut. Listen, it's never too late. I say it's never too late.
To be an astronaut? I don't know.
It might be a little bit late for that. But you never know. You never know.
You could maybe sit in the back.
Yeah. Listen.
I could just
Elon will
buy my way on.
Yeah, Elon will get you, or what's his face?
I think it's coming. I think yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be there soon.
He's gonna literally call Science Week and be like, I bought a ticket to space. It's not happening for 30 years, but I bought a ticket to space.
I will be there.
Virgin America. What's his name? Sir.
Yeah.
Richard everyone's Branson. Yelling. Thank you. Yeah. Everyone's screaming at me, telling me his name.
And Elon's going to be everybody's in that big race for low orbit. So there's going to be a lot of people.
My brother and I were just talking about low orbit the other day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I said he was listening to Elon on Joe Rogan's podcast and he was talking, because I was like, does he think we're just going to be like Jetsons pretty soon or like what? And he's like, no, he thinks that's ridiculous because that would be a shit show. And I'm like, well, of course it would be, because we're talking about autonomy. My brother's in the EV space and worked for Tesla for years, and so knows Elon and the whole thing. And he was talking about the low orbit stuff that they're now talking about and everything.
Elon
so
gets
it's wild.
Everybody, it's a big race to get up there 100%. And occupy it.
Or the tunnel, where we could get to the East Coast in a matter of minutes or whatever. That kind of thing, like in a vacuum, which is would we be able to feel wild? Anyway.
Yeah. Kind of like up in the Bay Area.
Have you seen the Cybertruck? There's a couple in the neighborhood now.
Yes.
Kyle Whistle bought one. I've seen his on Instagram, and I saw one. Yeah. They're cool looking.
He could have done better, but anyway, I digress. So my brother and I went to the Peterson Museum.
Is it, not to cut you off, is it just a truck chassis with some weird thing on the outside of it, pretty much?
It looks like a spaceship.
Yeah. And the inside it has the yoke steering wheel, and it has the screen and everything that Tesla has. But I was like, we went to the Peterson Museum because this is before deliveries were happening last year. And my brother's was in LA. I met him for dinner. He's like, let's go see the Cybertruck because I haven't seen it in person yet. He left before all of that rolled out. So we went and saw it, and there's a robot because they do at the Gigafactory. There's robots that pass parts through and stuff like that to the other side of the factory.
Yeah.
And so I was just standing there. My brother's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "This is freaking me out."
Yeah.
it's just like the autonomy. It's a little, I can't handle it. I'm a boomer in that way. Like it's a little too much to self-driving. I have control issues. I'm not doing it. It's not like in my dad's Tesla, my brother's Tesla, like that's fine. But like, am I going to get into a cab in San Francisco where there's no, hell no.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, we have to wrap. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
We really love you. And I cannot wait. You're going to have to come back. I think we need a part 2.
That's just 3 chapters. Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to write a book. So I'm going to need you to come back and tell some more stories. Okay.
They might not be pretty though.
That's okay. That's okay. Part 2 will be dark. Anyway, Brian, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.